Hey y'all, what's up? It's your girl T and I'm back with another video. I know I've been gone for a week. I think I'm interested about a week. Y'all, life has just been kicking my ass. Like, it really has. So excuse me, y'all look rough. Your girl got a hair appointment Thursday, so I'm hoping that goes through. Because y'all know how these hairstylists like to cancel out and do whatever. So I'm hoping that I do have my hair appointment Thursday because I want to get some braids. I don't usually get braids. I think I had braids twice. Yeah, twice. Besides when I was a kid, of course. But yeah. So I'm really ready for that. Today would have been my son's 3rd birthday. He would have been 3 years old. He passed away June 23rd of 2020. I'm trying to see exactly where to start. So let me just rewind back. So we were actually supposed to be going to New Orleans the day that he actually passed away. Yeah, he was going to New Orleans the day he actually passed away. So he was born down here in Jackson, Mississippi. I can't really put out too many deets because I don't want, to step on anyone's toes or anything like that. But he was born down here in Jackson, Mississippi. I had him at St. Dominic's Hospital and he was transferred like 35 to 40 minutes later. He was transferred to the University of Mississippi Medical Center down here in Jackson. I had him by C-section, so everything went by pretty fast and smooth, whatever with that. I was already seeing like a maternal fetal medicine, so I had pretty much already known that my son was gonna have a cleft palate and a recessed chin. It was a genetic thing that I had. My oldest son had it. He had the one that passed. His name is Carson. He had it, and my 1-year-old that I have now, she has it. My little girl, she didn't. Well, my 4-year-old, she didn't have it. So it was like boy, girl, like that exact order. So I would have definitely been done. But yeah, so he was transferred off the strength that St. Dominic's Hospital does not specialize in babies with those type of genetic disorders. So UMC specializes in like everything, like from cancer to literally anything you can think of. They specializes in it. They're a great hospital, don't get me wrong. That year has just been, wow. So, again, I was already seeing maternal fetal medicine, so I already knew that he had it. The maternal fetal medicine, they pretty much can see, they monitors the baby while your OB monitors you. So, like again, they told me that he had it, and I was already expecting him to go to UMC because I had already experienced this with my 6-year-old. So, his dad has never experienced like a baby with that type of medical history or anything like that. So he didn't really know, and I can't blame him. But he was like, Carson was like 2 days old. Well, 1 day old. I went over there. They had told me, hey, well, he's gonna need this, he's gonna need that. Said they needed to pull his jaw out because he couldn't breathe. It was blocking his tongue was blocking his airway, saying his tongue was too long and too big for his mouth, that it was gonna block his airway and cause him to obstruct and not be able to breathe and stuff like that. So me being me and already dealing with it, and I've already had one myself, I was already skeptical. My baby just was born, like give him time, because God has the last say so, not us. And his dad was like, okay, well, let's just go ahead and do it because the doctor's saying that he needs this, the doctor's saying that. I'm like, no, like, I don't want him to have it. Like, let's just give it time. I'm not saying, like, I was against the surgery. I wanted my baby to have a time to, like, fight and, just be there for a moment. Because he was already dealing with so much in the womb already. So, the doctor just kept pushing and advertising the issue like it was worse than what it really was, and it really wasn't. So, us being young parents and us just wanting the best for our child, we was like, okay, fine, we'll go ahead and do the surgery. We signed off on it. We knew the risk. to the surgery. But like I said, I've never had any risks. My son never had any risks, so I didn't expect any risks. Okay, so I think he had surgery with the third day he was born. Well, the third day he was born. The third day he was here. He was there. He had surgery. So we went in for the to prep him for surgery and stuff. It was still like 7 that morning, and he had a surgery. We're thinking everything's going well. The doctor came out and told us, hey, we broke too much of the jawbone. The bone will grow back, etc., etc. So we was like, okay, so is he? I was like, okay, so is he in any pain? Like he in discomfort? It was like, no, we have him on morphine and some other types, some Tylenol and some other type of medicine. They had him sedated and stuff like that, so he couldn't feel anything. So I'm like, okay. At that point, I was already shaking up because I'm like, wow, like my baby jawbone was really broken, but no one ever told us that, hey, the baby could possibly be paralyzed from it and stuff. Like no one ever told us that. So I was continuously after the surgery, you're supposed to give the jaw time to heal, and in order for the jaw to heal, you have to constantly like keep moving. So he had like rods, which are medical term, they're like called distractors, where it's a little rod that comes out and it's like sticking through here. I have pictures I'm gonna post. Well, yeah, I think I'm gonna post it. I'm really skeptical on posting it, but I may post it in the video. And like you have to keep on moving the distractors out, just constantly keep riding it out so that you can move your chin out. And so during that time, of course, you feed the baby on a bottle, whatever, because he couldn't latch onto my breast, because his chin was so small. So you just keep moving them out, like I think twice a day, once in the morning, once at night, and they're feeding on the bottom. So I'm constantly coming up there doing his every 2-hour feeds, like literally coming from North Jackson to the hospital or whatever. And I didn't mind it. No, I wasn't coming from North Jackson. I was coming from South. It was sort of wet Clinton, pretty much. Borderline Clinton. So it wasn't even Southwest. So borderline Clinton. Okay. I don't know, y'all. Yeah, it was Clinton. It was Clinton. Okay. So I didn't mind. We was also in the process of moving to it that particular day. That no, let me write one. I was constantly going up there every 2 or 3 hours feeding him, etc., etc. So I took a break. When I got done feeding him, I went home so that I could get finished packing and moving my things to my new house while he was sleeping. And I could try to get done within 2 hours. I get back up there and feed him. If I wasn't done, I was gonna have his dad come get finished moving. So in the process of us moving, the doctor called. I can't say his name, but he called and he was like, "Hey, Miss Goldman." I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" I was like, you know, how is he doing or whatever like that. He was like, he was like, "How are you doing?" I was like, "I'm doing pretty good. Like, how's Carson doing?" He's like, "Yeah, that's what I called you for." I'm like, at this moment, my heart just dropped. Cause I already wanted my baby home with me. I was battling depression, and it was a mental, like it was a rocky mental state. So, I was battling postpartum depression. He was like, "Yeah, have anyone, when was the last time you came up here?" I was like, "I just left like about, 30 minutes ago. At the house moving." He was like, "Well, I was just calling. Did anyone ever tell you that Carson was paralyzed?" He was like, "I went and made rounds and I noticed that his right side wasn't moving." I was like, "No," I said, "I just left from this. Why didn't nobody tell me that?" So my whole perspective, my demeanor, everything changed. Because at this moment, I'm like, "See, now y'all playing with me." Okay. Excuse me. So, I just dropped everything. Like, my baby paralyzed. Like, how the hell that happened? So he was like, "Yeah, maybe when his jawbone was breaking, or hair got broken, you know, it could cause paralyzation." And it was another term he used. I cannot remember the exact term that he used. And so I was just like, "Why nobody ever told me?" He said, "I'm not sure why no one told you. They already knew." And I look for the bedside nurse to let you all know. I'm like, well, you did it. You could have told me. And like, they switched nurses so much, so I couldn't just be mad at the nurse, you know? So, at this moment, I'm just cursing him out. And so I'm like, well, you know what? Because they had already, been giving him too much morphine as it is. Like, it wasn't giving my baby the opportunity to wean off of the medication. They just kept giving it to him, like, at pretty much, I felt like my baby could deal with it, but to them he couldn't. And they was just constantly giving him medicine, kept constantly giving him medicine versus weaning him off of it, constantly turning the oxygen up, versus giving him the chance to breathe on his own. So my 5-year-old, he was transferred to Oshner, and Oshner in New Orleans is a really good hospital, like really, really good hospital, like hands down. They actually allow you to be hands-on with your baby. You actually can stay in the NICU with them. It's like your baby has its own hospital room. Like, they make you comfortable. You have a washer, dryer. They have sitting areas. They have, like, you have everything. You can literally stay overnight with your baby in a room with your baby by itself, or by his or herself, or themselves. So I really, really liked it. The nurses was amazing, like amazing. So I was like, at this point, transfer my baby to Oshner. He was like, well, we can't do that because of COVID or something. I'm like, fuck COVID. Send my baby to where he needs to be at, because at this point, y'all playing with me and y'all playing with my baby like y'all playing God with my baby's life. So I hung up with him. I called to the social worker down there, and she's like, well, yes, Miss Goldman, we can't do that. I said, well, because of his jaw and the obstruction of it. He just had surgery and he can breathe. Like, come on, like, y'all got excuses every time. Like, I said, if y'all don't transfer my baby, me being a mother, we're gonna have a really big problem. And I will hate to come there and act the ass, like, transfer my baby, discharge my baby, and I would take him to Oshner. Like, I would drive him to Oshner because I knew he was in a stable condition, so I can drive him. Like, if you ain't gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. I was not saying, like, discharge him into my care, because I felt like I wanted him to be overseen, like, and overlooked, to make sure he was okay. So they still wouldn't do it. Okay, so the doctor already knew that what he did was messed up, and I guess his guilt got to him. And he was like, okay, well, Miss Goldman, if Carson can feed the next 72 hours with you or whatever, then we would discharge him into your care, and he'd be good to go since he is breathing on his own. If his stats don't drop or anything like that, then, you know, we'll just discharge him into your care, since you do have experience, and we just do constant follow-ups or whatever. Okay. So Carson was able to breathe on his own with no support, as I already stated, and then he was feeding, drinking a whole bottle on his own. Okay. They did not send him home with any antibiotics, like, for the rods or whatever. So we ended up going to a follow-up. When we came home, his dad came and picked us up from the hospital. And then he had an appointment, I think the next day, not the next day, the day after that. So we was already situated to our new home. My baby was home. So I was like, okay, life is starting to, you know, come up together. So I had already called Oshner to set up some appointments with them and try to transfer him to the cleft palate team in New Orleans. Since that's where Bryson was already going, I like to take them both at the same time to the same doctor. They have a really amazing team. Okay, so I went to Carson's appointment at UMC still, because he still wasn't seen at Oshner. I noticed that, like, they was constantly taking pictures of him, not even taking pictures, more so taking pictures of him in the distracting room. Before we had found out that he was paralyzed and stuff like that, we had already had a lawyer because of some things that was already going on within the hospital themselves. So we had already had a lawyer when we found out that his jawbone was broken. And that's when the paralyzing and the jawbone was being broken. We had already had a lawyer. So I was constantly telling my lawyer, like, hey, like, they're not really checking up on him. Like, they're more so taking pictures of his jaw, like, because his jaw was slanted, like, because they had already broken his jawbone, and then they had already paralyzed him, so everything was just going slanted. So we was constantly sending him, like, pictures, letting him know, like, hey, my baby's not keeping anything down, and, you know. And so my lawyer was like, just, hey, keep sending me this, keep sending me that, like, whatever goes on, just send it to me, messages, screenshot, videos, everything, send it to me so we can use it in court. So we was cussing, seeing his doctor, and I was cussing, getting a vibe like he wasn't worried about my child's health. He was more so worried about the distractors, like the paralyzation of it. Just trying to constantly cover his track pretty much. So I say he was constantly like, he wasn't gaining any weight. So we was gonna do a feeding tube, but I was pretty much kind of against him, like just give him the opportunity first. But I'm gonna go ahead and get the feeding tube regardless. So I'm trying to see, y'all. My brain is really starting to fry up now. Oh yeah, he was a cranky baby. All the strength that he was hurting, so we ended up taking him to the ER. And I was like, hey, I'm like, you know, these rods are draining like greenish mucus, and it had a foul, like a real foul fishy smell. So I knew that was an infection. And I'm constantly telling them, hey, like, it's an infection. I know it's an infection. It's an infection. I know it's an infection. He would have his doctors like come take pictures of the rods and stuff. Y'all not trying to see what's wrong with him. They was like, no, it's not infected. That's just it's healing. No, it's not healing. Like, I can look at it and tell it's not fucking healing. Excuse my language, but it ain't healing. You lying. So they was cussing, sending us home, I said like a week before he passed away, he stopped being so cranky. Like, he was cranky, but he wasn't just too cranky. So I was I left him in his bassinet downstairs, whatever. While I was, you know, getting laundry and all that done, and then what was I doing? I had just put the clothes on the couch, and I went upstairs to you know, take a y'all, hold on. I got a headache too. I went upstairs. I had just woke up from my nap because he was asleep. So I'm like, okay, let me just leave him sleep. Since he was in his bassinet, let me just leave him sleep. After I mess with him, I'm about to take me a nap. And I woke up, I'm okay, he's still asleep. He's thinking that he's still sleeping, like, okay, like, he don't usually sleep, so let me just let him sleep. Didn't think nothing of it. Went back upstairs after getting him off the couch for me to take a shower with. And his dad had walked in the house. I was like, you know, can you get Carson? You know, when I get in the shower, like, go ahead, bring him in, bring him upstairs, and then I'm going to go ahead and feed him, etc., etc. So before I could even get in the shower, it was like, his dad came home late because he worked for the police department down here in Jackson. He was like, T, Carson gone. So I'm thinking he's just trying to play a little prank on me. I'm thinking he's, like, when he said gone, I thought he's just trying to play like Carson not downstairs or something like that. I'm like, Sean, stop playing with me. He in the bassinet. He was like, no, T, I'm saying like he gone. I was like, Sean, I'm already tired. I have not gotten any rest last night because the baby, he kept me up. Like, get out the bassinet. Like, he's in the game room. Like, get him out the bassinet. Stop playing so much. He said, no, T, I'm saying he's cold. I said, well, if y'all keep the damn air off, he won't be so cold, because he used to always cut the air to like 65 or something. So it was like really, really cold in the house. And I'm anemic, so it was always cold to me. He was like, no, T, I'm saying he went into rigor mortis. And I was like, what? I was like, at this point, just my fucking baby here, because you playing with me. And he's on a forest I'm not. I've never heard of. I've never experienced this. So, okay. So, okay. So, I got my baby. He was cold and he was stiff. And the first thing for me to do was, like, I just did this. I didn't throw him or drop him. I was just like, he was still in my arm. I was like, you know, like, why is he like this? Like, what's wrong with him? And I noticed, like, he just wasn't breathing. So I'm steady walking around, like, hey, like, wake up, Carson, wake up. Like, what you doing, baby? Like, wake up. And he would not wake up. So at this moment, it's like, what happened to him? Like, what happened to him? So I'm getting dizzy. So his dad called the police, and I'm still on the phone. They started asking me questions. Is he breathing? Is he breathing? I'm like, no, like, he's not breathing. I'm screaming. I'm crying. I'm furious, because I'm just like, what happened? So they was like, okay, well, we've had things like this happen before. AMR pretty good, and, you know, reviving them. So I'm like, okay, my baby gonna come back. You know, AMR gonna come. They're gonna do CPR. Baby gonna come back. Everything gonna be fine. You know. AMR came. They told us like, we have done this before, we have dealt with it before, we got you and stuff like that. I'm just like, okay, I just want my baby to come back at this point. And then I had wanted to come upstairs to see them, like, just watch over my baby. They just kept on telling us like, you have to get out, you have to get out. And they just kept apologizing to us. The police came, the detectives came. They started treating us like criminals for some odd reason. So I was like, they asked like, what was the last thing he had on? We gave it to him. What was his bottle? I gave it to them. What was he sleeping? Like, just asking a lot of questions. And they saw that we had a gun downstairs. It was like, whose gun is this? And it didn't dawn on them to check the gun. It had the JPD logo on the gun or whatever. And they saw his vest or whatever. So they said, okay, so you're a police officer for Jackson. And he was like, my child said, was like, yes. And so they started asking us questions, had us separate. I'm started screaming, I'm crying, I'm apologizing to my baby because I knew my baby was in pain, you know. And I'm just like, I trusted the doctors to do what they were supposed to do, and they did not do that. They failed him. So I'm constantly apologizing to my baby, like, damn, like, had they done something, my baby could have still been here. And he was already, like, everything he ate used to come straight back out his nose, like, straight about his nose. So we had to pretty much just deal with that, like, just deal with it. And we had just moved into that house, and we wasn't there for long at all. Wasn't there for long. They came downstairs. I'm thinking they gonna come downstairs with my baby, and they was just they said they called the people who gets the body or whatever, and they came. I'm just like, you know, what they doing? You know, so I'm asking my child's father, like, what they doing? Like, you know what the protocol is. What's this? And they was like, he was like, they couldn't bring him back. So I started screaming, kicking, punching, shouting, like, just, why me? Like, why him? It's people like him in this world that has done so much stuff, and they're still living. Like, they're still living. Like, my child didn't get the chance to. My child would never have the opportunity to play with his siblings, be a father, go to prom, go to high school, like, just nothing. Graduation, nothing. So at that moment, I had called my mom and them and everything like that, and I was down, y'all. Like, I was down for a while. I was down for a while. But with the help of my kids, I pretty much got through it. So it's like, every time his birthday comes, I just be like, dang, like, time is really flying. It's really, really flying. My kids kept me pushing though. Cause I promise y'all, I wanted to give up. Like, I wanted to give up. I had so many questions. I know you're not supposed to question God, but I was just like, why? Why? But yeah. So today's his birthday. Today's his birthday. I literally would have had 2 boys and 2 girls. 2 boys and 2 girls. But I'm gonna stop this video here, and I will finish up with story time tomorrow. So thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this story. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.